So there's going to be live stream all the time going on, and this Russian an advance on the whole of Ukraine, which maybe that was outside of the initial arrangement, because I'm pretty sure that this conflict has been procured. It's that sometimes in the past, the ones that have been agreed upon that we're going to do some burning back, like a back burn, or they go a little bit further, okay, than they were supposed to. And I think because Nicole Pashinyan was like he conceded and gave up when the Armenians felt like they could have held on, but it was already prearranged, because they show them something that, or they send them a message that nobody else gets, and it lets them know that we control you. And so they concede, and it was an arrangement so that for Russia to stand down in Nagorno-Karabakh, that they would get the Crimea, Luhansk, Donetsk, and I think a little bit of a land like strip, like they were gonna bolster those zones out a little bit. And it's because Putin does not want Ukraine to join the EU. The EU maybe thinks that they're actually gonna, no, I mean, Ukraine maybe thinks that they were still gonna be let into the EU because they're promising them to put missiles on their doorstep. Like, so, as you know, the arrangement is like, as a trading partner, German depends on Russian gas and, I mean, oil, and Putin has his yacht docked in Brussels, not Brussels, maybe Brussels. I don't know if that's even near water, but in Germany, usually they left before that, like before this thing broke out. But what's weird is, right, is that because in the past, like Russia is a little bit more heavy-handed, and so they send crack troops in that are a little bit more brutal, then it's a little bit different. Like they what's the guy's name? I forgot this guy's name, but he's the Chechen leader. These guys are actors too. It's weird, like they're kind of Hollywood a little bit. Like they'll show up with Colin McGregor or something. But he doesn't want to participate, but he is. Like they don't. The Chechens don't want to. I don't know, bash the fash or whatever. They don't want to do it. But they are, anyways. And I forget names. Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader, was on a TV show about becoming the leader before he ran, and then he ran on the same platform that his character in the TV show ran, and became the actual president. And he's a bit of a more advanced take on Hegelian dialectic, because he's not the polar opposite but he's a stand-in for the Hegelian dialectic to be played because it's a controlled backburn, and there's agreements that have already been made, and the ace up their sleeve that they're using is this live streaming the entire war, stop the bullying type of thing. Why can't they do that? And and why can't they do that everywhere, right? Well, they did do that, but they don't do it. I'm not saying that they should. I don't even know why they should, but Tigray or Ethiopia, helmet cams, they don't even have journalism, regular journalism. But it wasn't a tool in there. It's not a tool for them to want to use that. But it's like if you've seen enough like tanks roll over regular people's cars or something like that, then Putin cannot do the same thing like in Grozny or something like that. It can't be the same. I guess that was a different. Which leader was that? Yeah, I don't even know. I would guess Yeltsin, but he might even be a different country. So I guess I just said everything then. Until somebody explains it better or something, it looks like still Hegelian dialectic, except I can't. It's a little bit harder to point to Hegelian dialectic because you're like, who's the polar opposite? And because those guys all know each other. Like they're all friends. You know what I mean? But at some point in time, they get shown something, a message that nobody else can understand, but they get it. And that might seem like I'm saying that there are some kind of hidden hand, right? It could be Anunnaki. It could be something complex, interdimensional archon type of alien inhabitant, like maybe they live behind the medulla oblongata until people stop grinding all the gears, and so they just let their mind open up or something like that. Like it's like they're thinking that they can procure or like take over, and it's at gatekeep or edgelord or like a PR firm or something, how they will like handle certain particular aspects of bad press or something, and kind of like get the information like a shoehorn if it doesn't really fit, like they'll kind of smooth out things and they'll handle it for everybody before they get it, and I'm not talking about regular PR firms. I'm talking about the ones that are media turned into. The media and the FBI and the big pharma is the same. You know what I mean? Like they link up with those, like CDC or big pharma, or when we don't hear that much about the Energy Commission, but I remember that they do side deals with energy and like brownouts and shit. Like when the politicians start neglecting infrastructure, but also like when they do those like backdoor deals with the energy commission or something, and in some areas suffer from brownouts or some shit. It's a little bit higher up than, it's gentrification on a higher and higher level, you know. And so you got to start being able to see white people being gentrified and white people being fucked with by COINTELPRO. Because it's part, if you're black, you already know that there's gentrification and COINTELPRO, but it's, in order to be able to speak on it, you have to see the advanced shit that people have tried to talk about it, and it's a little bit, they didn't have the tools to talk about. Like, they didn't really have the tools to discuss it because there were more fringe, lunacy, conspiracy. But the aspect, though, is there. The aspect is still there, and maybe that's why there's they play up the shit that we think that exposes them sometimes. Even they'll take a loss for a win on another level for something else. Okay, so and then again, I don't even know if sometimes the shit is a movie. But there's videos out there of like congressmen getting pulled over and trying to interrogate and coerce and use coercion against the officer, or a DOJ agent that had the officer's phone number and called him to meet him. And then when they met, he was like, "Oh, can you turn off your body camera?" But the officer didn't know him and didn't know how he got his number. So it's weird. It's weird, and that's maybe why he left his body camera on. But the dude was caught trying to coerce the officer and tell him to turn off his body camera, and then released because he was a real DOJ agent. But I would think that they would still have cited him and still have, but they didn't. Like, does it mean that it's illegal now? Because, like, it means that it's illegal to do that if you're a DOJ agent. You know what I mean? Then there was COINTELPRO fucking, like, they want to rewrite reports on the, or something like on the level of the Fed. They were doing something in their area, and something before it involved a report that officer filed or something like that. And I'm telling you that they probably wanted to ask him if he could change around, rewrite his reports. But I mean, you can't say that on the body camera. And then that could be faked and stunted or something. But then everything, though, well, what's the point? What's the point of everything being a stunt, even though it might be? Even though there might be, like, you just have to have patience. Patience is a virtue. You know what I mean? Not having your mind made up about something is a little bit more difficult than being trending. But when the trend dies, it shows how long that it and how much pressure or coercion was involved in it. So people Gotta watch out for shit that's only going to be trending for a short period of time, because it's not cool to sell out that easily. It's not cool. You have to, if you're going to sell out, let it be for a 2-year-long attrition campaign trying to starve you out or something like that. Not because you want to have friends, then all of a sudden you believe in asphyxiation for everybody, to the point where they got to speak up or voice out and that would be stressful on them. If they have a valid reason to not wear a mask, then now they're panting, trying to explain everything. Oh, I left my card. Oh my God, I got to get back on the bus. I don't have this or that. We're like, nah, fuck you. You should know already. No, fuck you. And those are all the people that don't have any kind of pulmonary issues or anything. Why? Did it happen to you? Do you have pulmonary issues? And then go be with the fucking child abuse. Like, you can't see it. Your ass trending for a couple years, but it wasn't like you had Napoleonic soldiers cutting off your food supply and denying you from any water or anything like that. You didn't see like people drinking their own piss next door, boiling book bindings to eat the rubber for the protein. Some big fat dude that's eating people's corpses or something. They're like, why is he fat? Everybody's skinny. Like, none of that shit. It was just, they just didn't want anybody to go against them. But that's the same way that molesters are. That's why they want to win the debates. But now, postulating is filthy. That's why debate is stupid now. Because you need a postulation to build arguments. If you can appreciate an argument, somebody has to postulate. It's just like if somebody's gonna somebody's going to clear a road to recovery, then somebody has to fall off the wagon so they can report the damage. Like, we don't have a pain memory or a way to remember how fucked up shit was. So somebody has to fall off the wagon so that they can get in a bang up and then come back and report. If they don't get killed, then they could tell you how rough it is if you fall off the wagon, right? Because if somebody's gonna get loaded, better you than me. Everybody wanted to get high, but nobody wanted to get loaded. I didn't come up with this shit, right? And it's safe for me to talk about recovery, not because I'm recovered, but because I'm not able to. Like, I really don't want any hard alcohol near me, because it'll make me have hypertension. It's like, so I fucking can't. Not only, I'm not tempted, but I don't want it. Yeah. It could be in ice cream, like a little bit in some ice cream or something like that, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not trying to burn my chest up, like I used to. Because the repercussions, I can feel it faster. And same thing with like anything, like trying blow or something. Like, I don't want it. Like, I know it's a good drug. Okay, knock yourself out, and I just don't want it near me. Like, I'm not talking about if somebody around has something like that. It's just, I can't ingest any things like that.